Our second full day on Hawaii focused on Mauna Kea. Since the afternoon and evening were going to be focused on Mauna Kea, we spent the morning at the resort. We spent the first hour at Poua Bay. This is the beachfront for the Fairmont Orchid. The white sand beach is protected by a crescent of lava walls that creates a safe and calm area for swimming and snorkeling. We spent the rest of the morning poolside. The 10,000 square foot freeform oceanfront pool was a relaxing place to lounge about. Before heading out, we had a great time strolling around enjoying the gardens at the resort. Here is a crinum lily, a yellow hibiscus, a lotus in the koi pond, here I am walking along the path in the garden in the resort. Here's a red tea plant and a foxtail agave. There's a nice rock garden. I couldn't identify this particular plant. And here's a nice cascade of water into the koi pond. At noon, we went to the Queen's Marketplace at Waikōloa Beach to await our tour bus. Well, here we are early for our trip to Mauna Kea. So this is outside the Queen's Marketplace, which is a kind of a food court and souvenir spot here on the Big Island. And so this is what it kind of looks like. You cannot quite see the top of Mauna Kea right now from here because it's covered with clouds. I do think it's amazing that even though there are very lush resorts around, right outside the resorts you can see such desolation. We had lunch at Charlie's Thai Cuisine. The restaurant had Thai decor, a rare photo of me using my cell phone. Mary had a combination plate for lunch. I had a spicy chicken. After boarding the van, our first stop was the Waikōloa Dry Forest Initiative.
And across the islands, we have over 50 species of unique plants and don't smell or taste like plants. So, all these things adapted to not having faster growing plants and grazing animals and things like that. So, a lot of adaptive radiation here, unique shifts, so we don't have to go too far. And then do this out. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
We'll also be seeing Jeff and his crew, so we're going to have a competition as to who can collect more seeds.
We're about to do some environmental work in Waikōloa Drive Forest Preserve. Here is a welcome sign explaining all the intricacies of the Dry Forest Preserve.
I hope it keeps up. I'm dressed very warmly. That would be nice. Yeah, I brought stuff to put on later.
We usually ask and acknowledge what we're doing. Hawaiian tradition and culture is recognition of going into someone else's place. We talk to the spirits, ask them permission, knock and say hi. It's like when we go to a friend's house, right? Don't just go in unless you're really good friends. Then you knock or ring the doorbell, announce your presence, and then we can go in, right? And with this, we typically will go into some place. And an entrance to a lot of places we will have an apu, or an altar, like this, typically just a stone cairn. We're going to see a few more of these kinds throughout the night. Some folks will leave offerings here. But with this, we acknowledge we're going to do a special place here. We'll be doing some special things tonight, especially going up to Mauna Kea. So our intention is, one, we're going to learn a bit. We're going to have a good time.
Here our guide tells us about the Willy Willy tree. Here's a Willy Willy tree that they had lost due to a storm. This is Mary harvesting seeds.
And it's very hot. Very hot out here.
Here is Mary collecting seeds for some of their reforestation projects. The purpose of collecting the seeds is to reintroduce native plants. And here's where we are. Mary stayed behind. We fell pretty far behind the group, as Mary's very intent on picking the trees, rather the little shrub or seeds, but I want to try and catch up with the rest of the group. The Waikōloa Forest Preserve encompasses 275 acres of remnant lowland dry forest, protects some of the last remaining native trees in the region. Before heading to the summit of Mauna Kea, we stopped at the Onizuka Center for International Astronomy Visitors Center. This is named in honor of the astronaut Ellison Onizuka, who was born and raised on the Big Island and died in the Challenger Space Shuttle tragedy in 1986. We had visited his grave at the Punch Bowl Cemetery on Oahu.
Volcanoes are what we call dome or shield volcanoes. They're real round in profile. It'll look like a dome or a round shield on its side. And while we have destructive eruptions, they're not typically very violent. We're not likely to see a Mount St. Helens in here. So these volcanoes build up from the bottom of the ocean floor. The hotspot stays in the same place, but the Pacific plate moves to the northwest. So we got all these earthquakes in California. San Andreas Fault is the Pacific plate. Scattered across the mountain, over 200 of these sites. These include the cattle ranch, early cattle ranches, places like that sheep station, burial sites for Hawaiian ali'i or royalty, Hawaiian altars or ahu at various elevations. We'll point a few out tonight, and even several astroarchaeological court system. Started getting up to the U.S. federal system, got up to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court heard the case and ruled in favor of the Palila, ordered the state to do something. State's solution to trying to preserve the Palila was to encourage hunting. So encourage hunters to come up here, try to get rid of the sheep. I tried.
Here's Mary enjoying the interesting lecture being given by our tour guide and driver. Here's a warning sign explaining the dangers of Mauna Kea.
Just because you guys are the last customer, it's very limited.
This is at the Welcome Center, as it was, for I guess it's going to be making the final, We stayed about an hour at the Visitor Center in order to acclimate to the higher altitude. The Visitor Center is about 9,200 feet. This also gave us a chance to have our dinner of beef stew and hot chocolate. Now that we were acclimated to the higher altitude, we were ready to make our final push to the top of Mauna Kea and the observatories located there.